So Mark, what was your analysis of that this evening?
Firstly, pleased to get the result, pleased to get in the semi-final, pleased that the players maintained patience and kept moving the ball and trying to do the right thing, and a huge sense of frustration as well at some of the events that carried out this evening in terms of the tempo of the play, the slowing down of the play, and I thought some of the challenges were inappropriate, to be polite.
There was some incidents with the referee that I think you weren't happy with within the game when Martin Waghorn was booked for what seemed an innocuous incident. Were you unhappy with the style of refereeing?
I think look at tonight, we didn't have Dean Shields available for 2 yellow cards, and it's a competition rules, I understand that. So therefore justify the yellow cards. Now, why was Martin Waghorn booked? Why was Nicky Clark? I don't know. But as I said to the fourth official, it means that talented young players, good young players, might miss a semi-final or final through such a decision. And as I say, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And there were some poor challenges tonight. And young Nathan came off at half-time, and there's a couple of challenges were very poor. And I just think it's frustrating for the players. They're trying to do the right thing, and it was a frustrating evening.
What did you make of the challenge on Nathan Odua, and did he come off at half-time as a result of that challenge?
He did. He had a knock to the ankle. He had a knock to the foot. He had a knock to the shin. He had a knock to most parts of his body, if I'm honest with you. But he'll learn. He's a very talented player. He's a good player, and he'll learn. And he's got to deal with it and find a solution. But also, we've got to improve communications with the officials, and it's not about shouting and screaming from the side. And it's got to be better. We've got to be better at that as well. But we've got to learn from it, And there were some, I'm using that same word again, inappropriate challenges tonight, and it's about an entertainment industry, and fans want to come and see players like Nathan Odua. They pay their money, they work hard, they pay their money, and he's a type of player that can get you off your seat, I think, on a regular basis, and you enjoy that. But tonight he's off at half-time, and that word frustrating again.
Do you think he'll be okay for Sunday?
I hope so. We'll assess him in the morning. I hope so. It's nothing too serious, but it was a poor challenge, and 30 seconds into the game, I believe, the first one, and 4 or 5 swiftly followed after that. But it was, we kept to the task. They were tough. They were very well organised. They were resilient. Awkward to break down, and we have to be patient. And we kept moving the football, and we got in good areas. Maybe not quite as clinical as we need to be at times, but we get the result in the semi-final.
Just one last one on the officials. The referee came over and spoke to you kind of midway through the second half. What did he say to you and David Weir?
I think David and I were just frustrated at what was going on, and as I say, maybe we have to find ways. We've all got to be better. Staff, players, officials. We've all got to be better and keep getting better. But we've got to learn to communicate in a more appropriate way, maybe. You
spoke about character after the game on Saturday. Again, was this a show of character that even after such a frustrating evening, you managed to get the result that you needed?
Yeah, I hope the fans saw that. Because it was frustrating for everyone, not just the staff and players, but the fans as well. And you heard the fans' reaction, and their support was again really strong tonight. But we just got to stick with it. We just got to stick to the game plan, and the more we can do that and learn to break teams down, the better we'll be.
And Nicky Clark, he's not a regular starter, but when he comes on and takes his chances like that, does he really kind of play himself into your thoughts?
Nicky's never been out of my thoughts. The fact is, when you have someone like Martin Waghorn on 15 and Kenny comes in and scores goals starting and from a sub, it's tough for people like Nicky. But I've got no doubts about his quality, no doubts at all. I've got no fear using any members of the squad. And it's lean, it's a tight squad, but you've got to have faith in that. And there's no doubt David, myself, all the coaching staff, whoever we pick, we've got no doubts about their quality.